Good afternoon, YouTube. DutyRon checking back in with another video. And today we're going to speak about the extradition hearing for Gannon's stepmom, who is charged with his brutal murder. We are going to talk about it right now. I am a retired New York City police detective. If you want things all true crime and from a police standpoint and perspective, please hit the subscribe button, hit your notification bell, so this way you will not miss any uploads, any videos, or any live streams that I do. Welcome into all of my DutyRon family chat members, channel members, my Patreon supporters, and all the great ones that are in here. Soul for Music 79, good to see you. Joey Brooklyn, Daphne Perry Girl in 1985, thank you so much for everybody coming on in for this special live stream. Today I'm going to speak about the extradition hearing. I, as a retired New York City police detective, have been involved in hundreds and hundreds of extradition hearings over the time. So, for those of you who don't know, Gannon Stouch was an 11-year-old boy from Colorado Springs. He was reported missing well over a month ago, and we had an arrest recently of his stepmom, who was pleading her case that she was innocent, or we found out that she is not innocent. There is substantial evidence or a confession on board. The authorities from Colorado have issued an arrest warrant for her. The authorities in South Carolina took her into custody under an FOA. That is FOA stands for another authority. If you commit a crime in your state, and I'm not paying attention to the chat because I want to get this message out. If you commit a crime, a felony in, say, North Carolina, and then you go to Texas, well, the North Carolina authorities will write out, it's called an FOA warrant. It's an arrest warrant. So if you're captured in any of the states in the United States, that authority, like say in New York City, I have stopped and arrested people who are wanted from outside of the state, and it's called an FOA, for other authority arrest warrant. And that's what she was held for down in South Carolina. The authorities in Colorado issued an FOA warrant. And let me just say quickly, too, thank you to the super chatters before the stream started. So thank you to those super chatters who gave super chat during the course of the live before it started. Hillary McCarthy, and I'm trying to scroll back to see. Hold on, I'll find it. And Janine the Stellar, thank you so much for the super chat. Stello Doro, Janine the Stello Doro, thank you so much for the super chat. So the four other authorities is common with any type of police department. We're used to seeing them. I have made arrests where we wait for an extradition, and there's a lot that goes into an extradition. So let me just digress. So the South Carolina authorities arrested Letitia. She was placed under arrest for another authority. Thank you for the super chat, Joshua. Thank you so much for that. So she was placed under arrest under an FOA, a felony arrest warrant, and being held for the other authorities. But before any of that happens, before South Carolina, Myrtle Beach went and took her into custody, they got on the phone. Kia ora to my great friends over in New Zealand. Hello, Linda. Before the authorities placed her under arrest, they talked to the Colorado Springs authorities, the El Paso sheriffs, and said, hey, if we take this woman into custody, you are going to come and get her and extradite her, right? You have intentions. So there's a lot of planning that goes on before the arrest takes place. These arrests don't just happen by chance. In other words, they had good intel that she was in the state of South Carolina. They knew that she was there either visiting her mom or whatever the case may be. The authorities on the ground knew that she was there. The authorities in Colorado communicated with them and said, yes, if you guys snag her and take her and put her under arrest, we have every intention to come and get her. So those behind the scenes communications happen before any arrest gets made. Because I remember from when I would do this, we would get a heads up, like, hey, you know, there's somebody hiding out at such and such location. I'm calling from whatever, an outside state. Just say Texas calls New York City and says, hey, one of our fugitives are supposedly at such and such location. But we would say, hey, you have to guarantee us that you're going to come and get them. And they have 20 days to complete the extradition process. So there was a lot of communication that went on in between these two authorities, getting clarification, because South Carolina doesn't want to house her for 90 days or 60 days. They want to just get her there, get her into custody, and get rid of her. So yesterday's extradition hearing, you guys heard that she waived her extradition. And by her waiving her extradition hearing, she just said, essentially, and she didn't know this, but the judge explained it to her, if you do not waive extradition and waive the extradition hearing, you could be sitting here for up to 90 days. And the 90 days that she would sit there is not counted as time served, like time in. But the judge wanted her out for two good reasons. And the two good reasons the judge wanted her out was, number one, South Carolina cannot charge her with the crime of murder. Only Colorado Springs and the El Paso sheriffs can charge her with the crime. So in South Carolina, they can't do anything. They cannot prosecute her or charge her with that crime. They're just like a holding house, a holding facility for them to come get them. So I would have to say that Colorado probably got on a plane and came straight over to South Carolina, or they were there already and they just waited for her to sign that extradition papers. And as soon as she signed it, they took her into custody. Now, I've gone to my neighboring states, Connecticut, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Florida, Virginia. I've gone to California, and we would get on an airplane, 3 detectives, 3 people from the fugitive apprehension team. I was in fugitive apprehension. We would go on an airplane and we would land in the local area. We would rent a car, a regular rental car. We would go to the jail and pick up the person, take the rental car back, and load our perpetrator onto the plane and fly them to where they got to go, back to New York City. So that's the process, and that's how it goes. It is a pretty quick process when both authorities are on board. If both authorities are not on board and there's a breakdown of communication, like I'll give you an example. I've had prisoners where I've made confirmation and communication with the extraditing authority, and the authority drags their feet and holds, we have the guy for a full 19 days. I've had prisoners for 19 days that we had to house because the other authority dragged their feet, because they know legally they have 20 days. But most good, like with a murder case like this, they're going to go and get her right away. And she's probably already, I would almost say, I would have to guarantee you guys, she's already back into Colorado. I haven't followed it that closely, but I know that they either put her on a plane, and if they drove, then that is like a long ass drive. So if they drove, and some authorities don't fly, they do drive. But I know New York City, we always got on an airplane, and we got on the plane and we flew and picked up the perpetrator and came back. So let me say hello quickly to all the people in the chat. Hello, Bridget. Hello, Black Rose. Doodlebug, thank you so much for being in here. Karen Wise, Bridget. If you're new, let me know where you're watching from, your city and state, and I'll give you a quick shout out. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you can get everything DutyRon. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, all one word, DutyRon. Denise Perez, say hello to Dad, and much love and respect to you. Mom of 3, good to see you. Thanks for coming in from Ohio. Maryland, says Bridget Jokum. Thank you. New Jersey loves my channel. Thank you. I appreciate that. Watching from California. Wow. People from all over. Vancouver Island, British Columbia, Canada. Beautiful. Colorado Springs coming on in. Thank you so much for joining, guys. If you're not subscribed, check out my Discord channel. Send me a message on any of the social that you'd like to join my Discord server. In the Discord server, Arizona, Pennsylvania, excellent. In the Discord server, we speak about a lot of stuff off that we can't really speak about here on YouTube. So it's like no holes barred, no filter. You kind of can let your hair down in the Discord group. So please join. Carla D, love and peace back to you. Thank you. Countryside, North Carolina, thank you for joining. Thank you. Thank you. Hello from Colorado. Colorado, great. DutyRon watching from Florida. Excellent. So that's the process. She will now go into Colorado Springs. The El Paso County sheriffs have her in their custody. They will now put her through the arraignment process for a new arrest. She'll be arraigned on murder, first degree, and all the charges that they put out. The murder first degree and the unlawful disposal of a human body, and all of the charges that were read off at the press conference the other day. She will be arraigned on those charges. That's officially being charged with those charges. And then shortly thereafter, she will go before a grand jury for an indictment. Once that indictment is handed down, which will be a definite indictment, she will get indicted, then they will go forward in setting a trial date if she pleads not guilty. If she pleads guilty, then it will be just sentencing and there'll be no trial. So those are the two possibilities, ladies and gentlemen. This is the two possibilities. She pleads not guilty and there's a trial, or she pleads guilty. Now, as everybody saw in the extradition hearing in South Carolina, she showed zero remorse for killing Gannon. She showed zero remorse for her crime. She was more concerned about having the hearing process explained to her than showing remorse by either crying or, showing that she was sorry for what she did. But she was just concerned about herself. Jared Brady, I would have to tell you that they have good information, or possibly already have the crime scene and location where he was disposed of. We don't know the method or what she did because it's not being put out to the public for a very good reason. The reason that they're not telling the public where or if they have the body is because maybe they have to do a lot to get a full recovery, to bring this poor child's soul home to his family, to let his mom and dad and the rest of the family lay him to rest. So they're doing the best that they can. We don't know if, and I don't mean to be gruesome or sound like I'm being gory here, but she could have dismembered him. She could have burned him. She could have. There's every possibility that's on the table. I pray to God that she didn't do that, but these are the possibilities as a law enforcement professional. There could be a lot. And for them to charge murder first degree and place her under arrest, she had to have confessed and given very good, solid information on what happened to this poor young boy. And I don't know the actual details of that, and it's just speculation. It's just speculation whether she'll deny it or not. But I think that she will be guided by an attorney, and an attorney will tell her, give her advice on whether she should. An attorney's always gonna say, you have nothing to lose and everything to gain by pleading not guilty. So I wouldn't be surprised if I see her plead not guilty, but she could sit in a cell and say to herself, I don't want to go through this, and change her plea from not guilty to guilty. That could happen at any time during the process. So, you don't need a body to convict, but it's always easier to get a conviction when you have an actual body. When you have the body, it's always easier to convict. But if she confesses to dumping him in a river or, whatever the case may be, that's going to be enough. And if she pleads guilty, which more than likely she won't, but if she does plead guilty, then there'll just be the phase of sentence. And I hope that that sentence is to the fullest extent of the law. So I was going to do just an upload and do it as a premiere, but I figured let me just have a live interactive chat. I would think so, Crown Royal, that she's going to plead not guilty because she's going to be influenced by a legal aid attorney, and any attorney, any good defense attorney, is going to say to the client, let's see if we can find a hole in the case. Let's see if the police make a mistake here, and let's see if we could get you off on a technicality. So there's nothing for them to lose by fighting and pleading not guilty. That's why most people plead not guilty. Does she still get interviewed? Abso-freaking-lutely, she will be. She will be interviewed. She's already given a full statement on her. She's already confessed to the crime. I guarantee you she confessed to the crime, if not also told them what she did and where she did the crime. Because based on my experience and seeing the looks on the mother and father, on his mother and father at that press conference, she wasn't crying and distraught because they think he's dead. She was crying and was distraught because she knew her son was dead. And at that time, that is enough for me to know that they got a full confession with details, not just a confession with details on what happened. So she did. She did confess. There's no question in my mind. And I would bet my pension on that there's a full confession on every detail of what happened, because the family would not be that upset at a presser, and the law enforcement authorities would not say he is not coming home. They want to just try to recover him. And this could be this could be from easy to really, really difficult for them to make a full recovery of his body. And we don't know if she poured gasoline on him and burned him in the woods, or if he was left out in the countryside. And I don't know what type of wildlife is over there, but I know there's coyotes and all different kinds of stuff in Colorado. And, you know, I don't even want to go there. But, you know, there could be a chance that his body was consumed by wildlife. There could be any different thing here. And I'm just speculating. These are just speculating. So her daughter could not confess for her. No. That is no. So I'm going to look at quickly some of the comments in the chat, and I'll try to respond to some of them, but I can't respond to all of the comments. They're going by really fast. Ace B, no, I don't think it was from a witness. I think it came straight from her. The confession came straight from her. That's just my opinion. She's charged with a murder, first degree, unlawful disposal of a body. Hello, happy-go-lucky. When you hear unlawful disposal of a body, then that's when my mind says she told them in graphic detail what she did with the body. And when you talk about, as a law enforcement and as a prosecutor, the unlawful disposal of a body, that is where a body is either burned, or a body is dismembered, or a body is... It's not just wrapping them up in a white. There's talk about, from the Ring video doorbell, about a white blanket or a sheet or something that she wrapped them up in. Or when you talk about unlawful disposal of a human body, it's a little bit more than what you think of. So and tampering, or however they worded it, it's not good. So again, that's the situation. Her next process now will be an arraignment in Colorado Springs by the arresting authority, and the arraignment process is quick and it happens very fast. She'll be arraigned. She'll plead guilty or not guilty at her grand jury. The grand jury will be after. She can plead not guilty at arraignment, but she can also at the grand jury, when they throw down the indictment, then all bets are off. There's no pleading at that point. She doesn't have to do anything. You know, it's just a quick, grand jury. The indictment will come down fast. This will all be swift justice. And then we will hear, I would have to say within the next 24 to 48 hours, we will hear from the Colorado authorities on what the recovery process is, or where they're at in the process of recovering Gannon's body, if they're able to do that. I saw the pickup truck. I did see that video, but I'm not going to be, listen, I'm not one of these creators that's going to go and play you a video of a Ring video doorbell and try to break down every step of it. I don't do that. No disrespect to anybody, and I understand that there's tons of creators that can sit for hours and look at that video. I am not playing, I'm not playing detective from my home. I'm going to go with the facts of the case. I'm going to go with what my fellow law enforcement professionals put out there, because unlike some people, I have faith in my law enforcement because of the career that I was in, and I'm not going to sit and disrespect the family and go over video up and down. That's just not my style. And I'm not just, I'm not saying it's bad that anybody does that, but me, DutyRon, I don't do that. I will not do that. I did look at the video. I personally looked at that video once or twice, but I'm not going to, incorporate that in one of my live streams. For me, that's not content. That's just, that's just sensationalizing something. Let's let the authorities, let the wheels of justice take place. Let's let the wheels of justice take over and let her rot in either whether they have the death penalty, which I'm hoping they do, or she gets life in prison, and she's going to have a real hard time in prison. So again, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, this is what you'll get from me. You'll get the law enforcement perspective. I'm going to tell you from my standpoint, my personal eye view. I've spent 20 plus years in the largest police department in the world. The New York City Police Department is the largest police department in the world. So I have seen everything under the sun. I have over 1,000 arrests affected in my career. Now, my numbers are bolstered because when I worked in the warrant squad, I would sometimes make 50 arrests a month, 50 arrests a month on warrants. So when I went into the warrant squad, which is a whole decade of fugitive enforcement, so just picture 10 years of 50 arrests a month. That's how my numbers of arrests really got bolstered. But I placed my handcuffs on hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. I know what it's like to make every different kind of arrest. And these extradition hearings, I've attended hundreds of them. I know what they're about. I know how the process goes. So if you like to get the information from someone who has walked the walk and talked the talk, this is the right place to be. So again, I want to say thank you to each and every one of my moderators. Thank you to my Patreon supporters, my channel members, the people who leave me comments down below. Go on to my Discord group, join the DutyRon Discord crime and general chat group. Go to my Facebook page, follow my crime and police chat groups. Go on to my YouTube video share group on Facebook, and we can continue the conversation. I do interact with a lot of people on and off of YouTube, but I can't interact with everybody. So thank you so much for taking out the time of your day to sit here and spend some time with me. I greatly appreciate that. And much love and respect from my house to yours. Let's stand against child abuse. For the 162 people that are in this broadcast, let's put some blue hearts and prayer emojis in the chat for Gannon, for Thomas Valva, and for all victims of child abuse and victims throughout the world. Blue heart emojis and prayers. Let's flood the stream with those, and we'll end it on that. Thank you to everyone for being here. My house to yours, love and respect. Let's support our local law enforcement and military, and let's keep our eyes open. If you see something, say something. Aaron, thank you so much. Guys, have a great day, and I will talk to you on the next live. Thank you for joining.